Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 18 of the Main Stand podcast. I'm here with Mitchell. He is back from COVID PTO. We're still without Pat, but Mitch, how are you? How'd the COVID treat you?
Not great. COVID is not fun. It is a real thing. I lost 35 pounds. I still can't taste or smell, and my quarantine is over. Honestly, I was like on my deathbed. I couldn't even make it down the stairs without being out of breath. It's not fun, but we're back. We are back.
We love to see it. We missed a lot, man. This is your first time back in 2 weeks, pretty much, even though you only missed one
Yeah.
podcast. Pat, same thing now. We missed a lot. We missed the end of the MLS season, NYFC winning that one on pens. We missed a lot of Premier League stuff, and most importantly, we missed all this action with the COVID starting to hit the Premier League. So it's not just hitting Mitch and the people up in Maine. It's hitting England now pretty bad.
I'm in a place where like people are forced to be socially distant because we have like more moose and pine trees than people. It's insane. Caught it in my own home from an employee showing up to work with it. Gave it to my dad. My dad brought it home. So
It's tough.
my whole family had it. My mom was on her second round, but we're all on the mend. Was finally able to see my niece after a couple of months. I have a nice little Liverpool Christmas present for her. Going to start her out young. But no, we're doing good. We're on the mend, and just excited to be back on the pod. Missed it a lot, but big ups to Josh for doing a solo epi last week, taking care of Pat and I, and keeping the content machine rolling.
Yeah, solo epi, it went well. Bets, I thought I had a fucking slate of good bets last week.
I thought so too. I like looking at it. I was like, they're kind of like those insta locks. You look at them and it's like, how do you even like argue any of the bets you put forward? And what you only hit on the Arsenal at first, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now on the Instagram just because it's easier. The only one we got on the first day was Arsenal -1. So that one, if they win by 1, it pushes. So they had to win by 2 against Southampton, which was the most unlikely one, I thought, in my opinion. And that one was plus 120 odds. That one hit. Freiburg Hoffenheim, I thought that was for sure. That one didn't go. Liverpool Aston Villa, that was just a fucking weird game. And
That was a
then
very weird game.
City and Wolves, I had Silva to score, and Silva had like 2 chances at the end of the game. That one's just a bad luck of the draw.
That was also a very weird game.
Yeah, it was. I hit the Madrid money line again, which I think I'm going to bet the Madrid money line every single week.
Kind of have to at this point. I mean, who else is competing with them?
It's
Atleti.
surefire. It's one that's hit consistently throughout the year. But yeah, 2 for 5 last week, not great, but we're still shooting over 60%. Which when you look at like betting tipsters and stuff like that, they're looking at like 45-50% on average. So we're still doing good, and a lot of our picks at the beginning too were plus odds. So if you put money down like $100 on each bet or $10 on each bet, you're probably making money over time just because like the types of bets
Yep.
we're putting. So it is what it is.
Takes time. Small increments will get you there.
Yes, sir.
Well, Rick will get you there.
But we'll dive into the COVID here a little bit more, besides Mitch's COVID. Because
Yeah.
the Premier League is, what do you think? Is it going to get shut down, man? 5 games postponed today.
I don't know. I feel like at this point we're 2 years in, like it feels like we've done it enough to know how to handle it and do it without putting people at risk. But at the same time, we have a full-on outbreak at Leicester that has canceled their next 2 matches, including the match today or yesterday. This weekend's already got 5 matches off the docket. 3 on Sunday, 4 on Sunday or Saturday, and 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, I believe.
Um,
Man United had a pretty big outbreak too because they shut down Carrington a few days ago.
Yep, and I think I think it's kind of like a day by day thing at this point, because it does take quite some time for a positive result to come back, or like for the outbreak to actually be recognized. It'll take a couple of days, but at the same time, we've been working on this. I think that just the Omicron is different. We haven't really experienced it in the US yet. And it's definitely running rampant. I'm not familiar with how it's affecting people or what is going on in Europe with that, but I don't want to say that the league is going to get shut down or postponed or anything like that. I don't want to see the league go behind closed doors again because that's not good for fans. It's not good for the clubs. But safety is important.
I just don't, at this point, I don't know what going behind closed doors would do. That's really just stop fan transmission, I guess. But
right.
I don't know. I mean, stopping the league is just, I don't know if that's the right solution either. At this point, it's kind of tough because, like you said, they're getting these tests where they're like presumptive positives. Today, like the Liverpool ones, like they announced Virgil, Fabinho, Curtis, and it was like presumptive positives, like they think. And it's like, well, if they have it, they've been training in pretty close contention with the rest of the squad. So, like, who else on Liverpool has it?
But, like, also Leicester playing Tottenham or was going to play Tottenham, that outbreak could have spread through another game. We go, one team plays another team, the cases don't pop up for a few days until after the game, so we don't really know. It takes time for it to set in and for that positive result to come in. Just based on my own personal experience with it, it took me 3 days until mine actually came back positive and my symptoms started showing up. It affects everybody differently. I can't speak for everyone, but the fact of the matter is it's an illness. If it's handled the way it's been handled for 2 years, I don't see shutting down the league. I think taking the games, postponing them. I think we're at a total of 6 postponements now this season in all competitions.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of take it day by day. I'll be curious to see what it looks like next week. But at the end of the day, health and safety of players and fans is of the utmost importance.
Yeah, I agree. And, we want to send thoughts to, players who do have COVID and stuff. Where it gets tricky for me is, like, you're postponing all these games. It makes the run into the season really weird when you have teams with games in hands and stuff. That I hate that. Even when teams
and
have,
external
like, one game
tournaments
in hand, it's
too.
going to get bad.
And it's going to muddy. It's going to muddy the race. It's going to muddy the schedule. It's going to backlog games. It's going to cause more games in a shorter amount of time. So you look at that for players' physical safety as well. Playing the game, if you're playing 3 games in 5 days, like,
yeah,
that's a lot. Just to squeeze them in because we postponed them. I don't know. I really hope that it doesn't end up with another lockdown in the Premier League because.
And honestly, dude, it's
a regression.
Like, as both fans of a big club, it adversely affects, like, kind of the smaller teams in the Prem. Even Leicester City, like, missing 9 guys, they're putting out a team of, like, mostly youngsters. Liverpool, City, Chelsea can afford to miss, like, a handful of people and still put out, like, a pretty good side. But it kind of does adversely affect the little teams in the Premier League, and that does affect fairness in a way.
It absolutely does, and you want to see the best players, you want to see the healthy players, you want to see the teams being able to put out their best 11s week in and week out, regardless if they're your favorite club or not. At the end of the day, we're all football fans, and a good match is better than anything. But, we're not the doctors. We're not the league officials. We're not the powers that be. And we're kind of at the mercy of waiting and seeing, like everybody else, what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, well, I guess we're on the topic of health. We had the order all figured out at the beginning of this episode, but not a logistics company, and my mind wanders, and we just end up going in whatever order my mind pleases.
We like talking.
Basically. We were going to talk about Barcelona, Sergio Aguero.
Heartbreaking.
But while we're on the subject of, health and medical stuff, Sergio Aguero retiring this week. I wish honestly, like, I wish that was handled differently. I wish, like, they just released him and have him do that for Man City and not announce it in a Barcelona shirt. I know that's like a petty request on my behalf, but it just felt weird him announcing his retirement, having played like no games for Barcelona.
No games for Barcelona. Not. I mean, it seems like he just got there 2 days ago, and
They
like
don't deserve that media attention.
No, they don't, and they're gonna get it because Aguero is Aguero. He deserves all that respect, all the accolades, all the trophies. 20 trophies, 427 goals,
something like that.
Like,
yeah,
unbelievable player. Just he's kind of like the Derek Jeter as a Red Sox fan. He's kind of like the Derek Jeter. He's that cornerstone player who you don't like playing against. He's on one of your least favorite teams, if not your least favorite team, biggest rival. And he goes out. I don't think he deserves this at all. Having a heart condition is a very scary thing. So obviously it's bad enough to announce his retirement. I hope it's the right decision for him and his safety. But he's a character that the football world will surely miss.
Yeah, and he definitely has the most iconic Premier League moment of all time. That goal against QPR. I mean, just you can hear those words without even seeing the video.
Aguero! It's ingrained in every soccer fan's brain. And
he's haunted Liverpool too, best. Man. He's the player you hate playing against, but you love having him on your team. Out.
Absolutely, and I wish Pat was here to talk a little bit more about him. Maybe we can get a little IG video from Pat to tie in, talk about Sergio. But no, I hope it's with good reason, and I hope that his heart is getting stronger for it.
He's gonna get a statue at the Etihad too. I mean, they just put one up of company. He'll get one up in the year, I bet. While we're on the topic of Barcelona, I mean, so I've had my shtick with Barcelona for a long time, and I've emphasized it in this podcast how much I hate them and how just like poorly run of a club they are. And that's not being biased. That's just me having disdain for like. Was it Real Madrid? I know it was Bilbao was one of them, but was Barcelona the other one, or was it Atleti? They're going against La Liga for some sort of.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
It was one of those comunicado oficials. They're like suing La Liga for something, and it's just like I don't even know how to put it. I feel like that's a
Barcelona thing.
Yeah, it's a Barcelona thing. It's like just I don't know how to put it. It's the mood of these clubs, like the tone, the arrogance they have of themselves. And Barcelona have deserved this for so long, and now it's finally coming to them. They have won one game in 6 matches. That game was against 13th place Villarreal. And this week they lost to Boca Juniors in the Maradona Cup, which is so funny. Now they're obviously in the Europa League. And that game against Boca, too, they were starting some good players. Coutinho, Puig, Dani Alves. I know he's a little bit old, but you're still starting a team of pretty good guys losing to a team from South America, which is comical.
The perch is definitely cracked, and there isn't enough Flex Seal to throw in those cracks to keep it from crumbling right now. I think the Aguero news is a massive hit, too. Like having a player like Aguero and being in the situation that they're in definitely doesn't help. But I mean, it just shows how invested Barcelona was in Messi. And obviously this started well before he left the club.
Yep.
But it's very apparent now. And it is a fall from grace. I think a lot of people, especially Real Madrid supporters, are loving seeing.
Yeah, they need to honestly just like sell for cash. I mean, I've heard rumors that Dest and Frankie de Jong are going to be on the market here in January. Probably some other players too, I imagine. Coutinho will probably go on loan, so someone just picks up his massive wages. They need to sell everyone for cash and start from scratch. Start with kids
Liquidate.
from La Masa and just run with it. That's the only way to do it.
It's time for full rebuild, and I think they owe it to the talent that's in that side right now. Frankie De Jong is wasting away right now. Yeah. I think there's far better opportunities for some of these guys. I don't think they ever let go of Ansu Fati. I don't think he's somebody that they let go. I think they try and build around him. But like a guy like Memphis and a guy like Frankie De Jong, they need to go on to greener pastures. They need to do something to switch up the dynamic and start this rebuilding process, because I think they have that arrogance where it's like, okay, we're Barcelona, we can just do what we want and put out an 11 and we're going to win games. That's not the case anymore. They don't really have that leader. They don't have that weapon. It's not the Barcelona we grew up watching.
And to Dani Alves, one was so funny too. They brought him back to be like a leader, whatever, and that got so much press. So every soccer account I think I follow was posting Dani Alves to Barcelona like it was some Ballon d'Or signing. It was hilarious, and that's just, it's a banter signing. Xavi, everyone is going on about him coming back to Barcelona. Pat was comparing him to Pep Guardiola 3 weeks ago.
Manager of the year.
Yeah, Pat literally compared Xavi to Pep Guardiola. I need to make that abundantly clear. And he's just a shambles. He doesn't know how to manage that team. That's so political. And, I think I agree with you on the Frankie De Jong take too. And I'm kind of all over the place right now. But this thought just popped into my head. How far that Ajax team from a couple years ago just fell from grace. Donny van de Beek is so similar to Frankie De Jong, goes to a club, Manchester United, and is just lost. And
just sitting there.
De Ligt's had I think he's had a little bit of a resurgence at Juventus, but Juventus aren't where they were at when he signed first, and he's kind of experiencing the same thing. And that Ajax team just obliterated into a million pieces. It's pretty funny.
But that was a fun Ajax team.
It was.
Like, that was a lot of fun to watch.
I can't get over it. I mean, these Barcelona players, man, they're too much for me sometimes, and I'm enjoying it too much.
You don't have to follow it directly from Barca, though, so that's good.
Yeah,
they protected you from that. They sold you in the transfer market to try and rebuild.
I just want to meet the person that did that. I need to have a conversation with them.
We just need to have a little chat.
What do you want to dig into next, Mitch?
Let's jump into the shambles of a Champions League draw.
Yeah, speaking of shambles, having to do that twice, and Liverpool got screwed.
I wouldn't say screwed.
Not screwed. It could have been. That was probably the second worst one we could have got. Obviously, PSG being first. But so in the text chain, they did the draw, and I sent a message right when they announced their redraw. I said, watch, we're going to get Inter Milan. And it happened. Liverpool.
Bingo.
Going back to the San Siro.
Yeah, Nat Phillips, where you at? The Champions League draw was, what a joke. But I don't know if I'm necessarily worried about Inter with Arturo Vidal and his stupid ass mohawk. I think Liverpool is a different breed when it comes to the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
And we're comfortable at the San Siro. We only have our last Champions League game was there, so I think the boys are ready to go.
Barella is missing the first leg of that match too. Yellow card accumulation. Or it might have been a red card, actually.
I am not sure, but that just makes it easier for us.
Yeah, he's the one player that really scares me for them.
There isn't necessarily somebody I could look at right now on the Inter side and be like, I'm worried about a matchup, one-on-one.
Yeah, because Martinez isn't really that physically big as a strike. He's obviously their biggest threat up front, but ain't no way he's getting past Van Dijk.
No, if Van Dijk's healthy and everything's according to plan, I don't see Inter being a challenge. The one game I am excited to watch is Real PSG, though. That is the quote from Ramos. I'm gonna die on the pitch for PSG against
Yeah,
Real.
for real. Then the next one that got
Ooh,
drawn was the only
ooh,
match that got the same draw in both the fucked up one and the new one,
and
Chelsea
the
and Real.
actual one.
I think
Uh,
Chelsea are going to win this one, but it's kind of like a defensive matchup. It's kind of a weird game.
you mean Sevilla?
Well, I have Sevilla wrote on here. Sevilla is. Do you see them ever out of the Europa League? I just that's a typo. Sevilla is always in the Europa League.
I'm just giving you shit, Joshua.
I know.
No, I don't see this being a big issue for Chelsea either. I think having that consistency between both the shit draw and the real draw, it just means Chelsea were destined to pound the piss out of them.
Yep.
There any other big matchups that you're excited for?
Well, United Atletico. That is going to be the biggest piss take fest of all time. Simeone at Old Trafford. That's going to be comical, must-watch TV. I think they actually. The only thing that scares me about them is Ronaldo against Atletico. I think he could pummel them. But it's going to be a fun one to watch, and definitely one I'm going to.
It's gonna end up being like 2-1 Atleti with a Ronaldo goal in like the 76th minute.
Yeah, Ronaldo's going to have something to say in this match. That's the only reason I'm like hesitant to say Atletico are going to win. The next one too, Real Madrid PSG. I'm glad this one got redrawn because I think PSG could be out in the first round.
I do too. However, with the way PSG have been playing, and I feel like they're starting to find their footing a little bit. I don't necessarily think it's going to be an easy game, but having somebody like Sergio Ramos
Yeah.
on your back line, who kind of born and raised at the club, kind of became that being of Sergio Ramos. I think he's going to want to try and prove something for
Yeah, I
sure.
agree.
And Messi coming from, I've always beat the brakes off of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think PSG will have Real's number in this fixture for sure.
Real's a weird one, honestly, because it's kind of hard to gauge the strength of La Liga this year, if we're being honest, because it was down last year. And yeah, Real Madrid are good, and Barcelona's really bad. But I also don't think Real Madrid are like at Liverpool City level, honestly.
Not right now, not yet. I think they do have some very solid pieces. I think, they do have a good side. We saw that in the group stage. We saw that they can put together a good performance, and they can edge out a win when needed. Lack of weapons or not. You have Benzema, you have Tony Cruz, you have Luka Modric, all still seasoned veterans in Casemiro. And then you have young talent, Vinicius, you got Camavinga. So they have a side that can go out and do something. They could steal a win from PSG if they work hard enough, and they can absorb that pressure that PSG is going to be coming at them with.
Most impressive thing for me with Real Madrid, and this I think something PSG is going to struggle to break down, is Real Madrid. I don't know how many back lines they combined, center back pairings at the beginning of the season, but they have found a hell of a partnership with David Alaba and Eder Militao. Militao kind of just struggled to get in the side the past couple years since coming from Porto. And I think he's found his partner with Alaba, and it moved Alaba kind of, because he's used to playing kind of on the wing. Moving him to the center was a super smart idea now that he's getting a little bit older. And that combination's worked really well for them, and their defense has been better than ever. So I think that's something PSG actually might struggle with.
Yeah, and I think Real Madrid's midfield is something that PSG is going to struggle with too. I think Real's midfield is set up a lot better than PSG right now. They're able to control play in the mid third, and I think that's something that PSG is struggling to do right now, and I think that could be a tide turner for Real.
Yeah, I agree. And the other ones, we'll fly through them real quick. Sporting City, oil money buying another easy draw. Bayern Salzburg playing their farm team. Ajax is going to roll Benfica. I know Benfica has a good defense, but Ajax, their offense is something else. I said it was a mistake for West Ham to get rid of Sebastian Haller last year, and he's just balling. And Villarreal Juventus. I probably take Juventus in this one. Villarreal really haven't been that good this year.
No, they haven't, but Juve also hasn't been looking great as of late either. So
that's true.
There's some toss-ups in the draw, but I think all in all, with the current health, the current form, if we're looking down the line, what is it? A month away?
Yeah,
February.
4 weeks. So 6 weeks.
6 weeks. I think we come back from the winter break, barring any big major moves, which I doubt will happen with any of these sides right now. I think we'll have a really good first round of the knockouts.
Yeah, and we won't dive into this either, too much.
Yeah.
But Europa League playoff matches, so new format in the Europa League. It's not just the third place team dropping down; it's the second place team in every, maybe not every, might be the 4 best second place teams, something like that. Play the. No, that's just the ones we have down. Again, not a logistics company, guys. I'm trying to figure out my own notes.
Not a logistics.
Trying to
company.
figure out my own notes. It's tough. All the second place teams in Europa League play all the third place teams in the Champions League. The winner of those games goes on to that round of 16 in the Europa League. Instead of the Europa League had that expanded format of 32 teams in the past couple of years, and that was just kind of stupid. So
wasn't it going to 64 soon too?
Well, I think that's why they made the Conference League.
It's I heard a couple of years ago that the Champions League was trying to get up there too. I'm like, why?
It's stupid.
Why do we need to do this?
Yeah.
Too many if you're expanding it this wide, it takes away from the best teams in Europe. That is the point of the tournament. We don't need to give everybody an opportunity. They need to earn that during their club season.
Yep.
That is how that works. Let's not just okay, everybody, it's time to play for the Champions League.
The FA Cup of Europe.
Exactly. I don't need to see fucking, I don't know, West Ham playing in a Champions League play-in match in 2 years. If they earn it, yes, they very well might. At this point,
who would sponsor the FA Cup of Europe? Who would be the sponsor of that?
Oh God. Probably
Cadbury.
No,
Cadbury Cup. That sounds pretty class, honestly.
I'd probably say I don't know, Bud Light.
Bud Light. That break into the Europe market with the light beers.
Exactly.
Love it. On paper, though, there's some pretty good Europa League playoff matches. The Barcelona-Napoli one, that's like a Maradona Cup Part 2.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I honestly like that Porto Lazio pick though.
I like it too.
That's gonna be a fun match, and then we have Leipzig and the Real Social Dads. So 4 really solid matchups in the Europa League.
And that's not even mentioning West Ham, who's already kind of made it to that advanced round of 16. So there's going to be some actually good Europa League matches that I actually might want to tune into this year.
Yeah, that's something we haven't been able to say for a while. I will say that. So it is kind of nice seeing some fresh faces in here.
Okay, so we're gonna change segments here real quick. Before we get into Liverpool stuff, why don't we do Fiorentina first? So the Fiorentina Forecast with Mitch Ketchin.
Fiorentina Forecast. The boys in purple are buzzing. 4-0 on the weekend. We are in sole possession of 5th place, 2 points ahead of Roma. I think it's going to happen. I think I'm going to end up with a brand new Fiorentina kit at the end of this season. And I was thinking, I wish Pat was on because I was thinking about this. I could be coerced into changing from the Nintendo kit to a 2014-15 Mo Salah number 74
Oh,
Fiorentina.
wow. Wow.
That would be spicy.
You get a
Uh,
56 Bobby Duncan one probably for free somewhere.
you find it in a dumpster behind Goodwill. No, I've actually watched the last three Fiorentina matches. Um, and I gotta say they're playing extremely well. Vlahovic, 21 years old. I know you don't have very many nice things to say about him, um, but the kid is balling out. He is one goal away from breaking Ronaldo's record from last year for goals in the Serie A calendar year. Um, he's already got 32 goals in the last calendar year, which is unbelievable. 21 years old, producing at this rate. I know you actually do have some statistics going in it, but no, the boys are playing well, and in Serie A, Roma ended up stealing 3 points over Spezia this weekend. Milan split points with Udinese.
Yeah.
Atalanta squeaks by 2-1 over Verona, and Juve tie Venezia 1-1. So it was a perfect storm of matches for the boys in purple this weekend. Upcoming, Fiorentina is going to be playing Sassuolo on Sunday, 6:30 a.m. You're
They're
going to
going
be
to
up for that
smoke
one?
them. Yeah, I
That's
might watch it.
5:30 a.m. where you are,
Ooh,
Josh.
maybe not. I don't know. Vlahovic is a weird one. Do you think this is his last month at the club?
I hope the hell it's not.
Because your bet gets a little bit more shaky if he's gone.
My bet gets very fucking shaky if he's gone. I don't know. I can't really tell it. I can't tell if he's trying to show out for a contract somewhere else or if he's just getting better and better. Um, Definitely not playing with the best team around him. So I'm not sure if he goes somewhere else, if he's still getting fed the ball like he is. He's just finishing so well right now. He cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
His chances created. He's got what 15-2 this year alone, and I don't see him go. I don't see a direct link anywhere, like an actual like advanced discussion with a club in the Premier League. I know Pat would love to see him at Manchester.
Arsenal.
Arsenal are also looking at him. He honestly feels like a better fit for Arsenal. Um, just watching him and seeing what Arsenal have done the last few weeks, if he were to be going there, but I don't know. I would love to see him stay there for at least the rest of the season and prove himself a little more. Probably earn a little bit better of a paycheck come summertime if he chooses to move on from the club.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the stats, I mean, I did have a couple, but a lot of them, they're like 68th percentile for total shots, 37th percentile for expected assists. That's compared to top 5 leagues, just forwards. So people in the same position. Now that I think about it a little bit more, those might be just more of a product of the team he plays for.
I think they definitely are, and I didn't want to say anything when I saw you send those notes because I mean he's having to do the work himself, and he's doing it. He has a couple of pieces around him to feed him the ball, but I mean the finishing that he's displaying right now is just next to nothing. It's absolutely sublime. The game against AC Milan, they needed a goal. He went out and got a goal. And then he went out and got another one 10 minutes later. Like, it's just the back and forth he had with Zlatan in that game was phenomenal. And I don't know. I would love to just see him stay at the club for the rest of the year. I think that would probably be the smarter move if I was in his position. I would wait out the year, see what you can do with Fiorentina, a club that's usually the bottom mid of the bottom half, top of the bottom half of the table. You're sitting in 5th place right now, pretty much solely on your back. Take them somewhere, do something with it. because they're only 10 points out of first place right now.
Yeah, I guess the one thing with him, I mean, I feel like they're going to probably get pocket 60, 70, 75 for him. But
Yeah.
I guess where I got a little bit frustrated with him is like in the past couple weeks, I've gained more awareness for Patrick Schick. Obviously, he was really good at the Euros this summer, but he's playing at Leverkusen right now. He's 25. So he's kind of like hitting right in the prime of his career, and he has like 17 goals this season. He scored 8 in the past 3 games. And when you look at his stats, again, Leverkusen's more of an offensive threatening side. His stats are like unreal in every single category. I don't know how he has not been talked about whatsoever for like transfer rumors, and that one surprised me a little bit. I think he's a better option than Vlahovic right now. I think he's just more ready, more primed.
I mean,
And that's where I was kind of like, I
21.
wanted to hit out at Vlahovic a little bit, just because I don't think he's the best option for some of these clubs that are like begging for him.
But he's also at that point in his career where he is still moldable. If he's producing that much, if you're able to capture that, I don't necessarily think 60, 75 million. I think right now he's 45, 50.
Okay.
Personally, I know you had asked me about that valuation. I think he's about a 40, 45, 50 million dollar player right now. And I think that's a bargain for a 21-year-old who's producing at the rate he is in Serie A. Like, it is a tough place to net goals. It is a very tough place to net goals. And when he's scoring this consistently, he's right now scoring a goal or two a week. And it's just he's starting to find that form where it's like, okay, I need to prove myself and move up to a bigger club. He's not at that bigger club yet, but he's playing like he deserves to be there.
Yeah. And we'll see how Fiorentina do, in the next transfer window opens in a couple weeks, so we'll see where he goes, and I think we're going to keep the forecast running for the foreseeable future. So
the forecast is going to be coming on a weekly basis. I know your weatherman was down for the count last week, but we're going to be forecasting some Fiorentina wins coming up, baby.
We need to we need to get a green screen set up and have a meteorologist thing behind it.
3-1 to Fiorentina this weekend, Sunday at 6:30 a.m. Over Sassuolo.
Hear that? Exacto score. Mitch is giving that his best bet.
Vlahovic, 2 goals.
We'd love to see it. And so Liverpool game just got done. We're recording this on Thursday night. We're doing this organically. Me and Mitch have not talked about this game yet, so everything's right off the top. Liverpool won that one 3-1. John Joe Shelby got the early goal. Then we got Jota, Salah, and Trent getting on the score sheet for Liverpool in a rather kind of tense win that Trent sealed up at the end. Mitch, what's your organic take on the match? And I need your man of the match at the end.
Okay, my organic take on it. Okay, Josh kind of lied. We exchanged words very briefly in the first half.
Very briefly.
Thiago needs to wake the fuck up and learn how to pass a fucking football. I'm fairly certain he created every chance that Newcastle had in the first half. St. Maximin was absolutely bodied by Konate tonight. I loved that. Organic reaction, Liverpool should have won that game 6-0.
It's a great take.
Honestly, the amount of pressure that we put on Newcastle today was unbelievable. It was great. It was the attacking pressure that I want to see out of our side week in and week out. Yep. The distribution was great. Jota's goal.
That's not a fact. They should
No. It was they shouldn't have stopped play, but I think it's just the respect and normally had John Joe Shelby not netted that first goal, I think we stopped playing and tend to the injury. Watching the replay, it was just Newcastle players bumping into each other. It was their own fault. Had a Liverpool attacker been really in the middle of that, I think there would have been a whistle. But I mean, it is what it is. Score the goal, move on. 4 minutes later, Mo catches the rebound. still doing top lad things.
Yeah.
And then Trent Alexander-Arnold pulling one out of Stevie G's fucking playbook and rifling one into the top left corner.
This was a zinger, man. That was just a classic. I feel like what is going to be a classic Trent Alexander-Arnold goal.
Absolutely. My mouth just dropped when he hit that. Like you couldn't hit it any better. Just top left corner, as top left as you could get it.
Ball's barely moving too. I mean, the goalie got like a touch, a bare touch on it, but no keeper in the world stopping that shot.
Nope, not a chance. It was traveling roughly 1,000,000 miles an hour. I clocked it all the way from here, and it actually burnt a hole in the back of the net. So, no, it was a phenomenal performance. My man of the match, probably going to have to give it to Konate. I think I have to give it to Konate. Stepping up last minute. As of last night, probably not in the side. Stepping up and continuing a great run of games. Just unbelievable defender. The pace he has, just composed, the strength. He's honestly excuse me. He's a mini Virgil. He's a mini Virgil.
That one ball he trapped on the sideline and kept in play and passed back was just unreal skill.
Sublime. He's been impressing me a ton this season.
Yeah, and I wanted to integrate him slow. I kind of talked to someone on Twitter about this a couple days ago, like him versus Matip is like that first one next to Virgil, and I still think Matip's like the best option when he's fit.
Yep.
But I don't mind Ibu Konate playing, once every 3 games. He was just really, really good tonight in the air, on the ground, had a couple close challenges, but he just got his foot right every single time. There was that one kind of on the outside of the box that was a little bit weird, but aside from that, just a flawless performance. And where you took him, I'll take someone else and I'll take Trent. He was just creating chances all night, and the goal was just fucking immense. And that's just...
How many chances have Trent and Mo combined for now? Like 1,000 this season?
A lot, dude. The right side of Liverpool is just insane. Hendo's been combining two very, very well.
Hendo's passing. Where does this come from?
It's been very good over the past 2 years.
He's just finding space that shouldn't exist. And Mo, I don't know if you saw Mo's pass over to Mane like in the 85th minute, or like right before the Trent goal. That outside foot pass that Mane or Salah's been pulling out of the bag lately, it's unbelievable. They're just, they know where each other are. Aside from Thiago throwing ball, like some of the worst passing I think I've seen out of a Liverpool player in a very long time. Like for such a good game, like to see how poor Thiago was in that game is shocking to me.
So I have an explanation for that, I think. I don't think Thiago's a good last midfielder. When he plays kind of well, he wasn't the 6 tonight, but when he plays level with Henderson, which he did last year, he's not as good. And I think having Fabinho next to him, having Fabinho behind him gives him the comfort of getting forward without being the one to play balls in the middle of Henderson and the defense. When he has that and people close in on him, that's when he feels pressured, and he did that last season too. He needs Fabinho next to him, or else I honestly might favor someone else in the team.
Absolutely. It pushes him almost into like that Bernardo Silva role, where Bernardo's able to get in between the lines of defense and create. And I don't think if he's sitting that far back, but it causes chaos. Like he just left a sitter for John Joe Shelby. He played Saint Maximin in twice, like blatant bad pass, and then in the first 10 minutes of the game, he had that one beautiful crossfield lob over to Mo, landed right on his foot on the edge of the box, but that was it for the mid 40 minutes of the match. Like it was just sloppy, and I hope he's able to kind of push up and get creative and take that pressure off of the wings, it opens up a ton of play for Mane,
Yep.
and lets Robbo kind of leak in to get a cross in. So
Also,
it's
too, when he plays in
frustrating.
that deeper role, he did this last year, and I will say he's improved on it. He fouls a ton when he plays more as a 6. Last year, he must have got 5 fouls a game. And this year, he's tamed that down, but tonight, you just saw shades that where Henderson was playing a little bit above Thiago, and I hate when Thiago was the last midfielder.
Absolutely. Ox, I think, had a great game from the right side of the midfield
That
as
pass he
well.
had to Salah, was in on. Oh, Salah should have finished that.
I like having Ox on that right side. I think him and Mo have been playing really, really well together. And then Jota, again, just all over the place. I think he's getting better every match. And for somebody so small to have such a good head on him, it's like every match he's getting at least 2 headers on net.
Yeah.
And it's just the amount of chances we're able to create with 6 guys pushing forward that fast. I mean, our center backs were fucking like 35, 40 yards from the net all game. Like it seemed like anytime a ball got passed out of the box, Matip was right there to just feed it right back in. Trent's positioning today was phenomenal. It was a really, really fun match, aside from a couple of glaring holes.
Yeah, what impresses me about Jota, he reminds me a lot of Salah. What Salah's first half of his first year at Liverpool, his positioning is just so smart. He has like a nose for goal in the sense he's always puts himself in the right position. Where Salah, I feel like, is the same way. I'm not saying they're technically the same players.
Yep.
Jota just is always in the right spot. He anticipates where the ball is going to be, and that sounds kind of like a rudimentary explanation of like why he scores goals, but that's I think why he scores goals. He
finds the open space before it's available.
Yeah, exactly. And another player I want to shout out, coming off the bench, a player I'm critical of, Naby Keita came in and made things happen for 20 minutes.
Instant impact. Instant impact. He took so much pressure off the front 3 when he came on. It wasn't Bobby today. When Bobby came on, he wasn't the one taking the pressure.
No.
Naby was confident, like he had 2 very long chances that were close. One I thought was gonna outdo Trent's goal.
Yeah.
Like Naby, he's making us eat our words. We were very, very critical of him at the start of the year. Deservedly so, but he has been kind of a diamond in the rough, especially with the injuries and the knocks we've had in the midfield this year.
I've turned on him a little bit this year. I've always said, if he proves me wrong, I'll be the first person to admit it. And this year he started to. I do think even the games he was good, he's caused defensive problems. But he came on today in a defensively tense game and made at least like 4 chances for Liverpool. And there was a period in the game, like around the 75th minute, where we were literally just passing it from Henderson to Thiago to Trent on the wing, and it would go back the other way. And Keita came on and was the only player trying to really play vertically. And I know that sounds like a 13-year-old like football Twitter thing to say, but Keita really was the one like actually penetrating in between the center backs, like in between those lines. And I thought he was just actually immense today when he came on.
He had a couple unbelievable passes.
Yeah, he needed a shout out.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And we'll carry 100%. That right into Rick's picks. Because the COVID schedule's all weird, and we actually did quite a bit of handicapping for like other matches this week, and then games just got canceled and my work was for nothing. So, Tottenham-Liverpool.
Fuck you, COVID.
This is my favorite Premier League match of the year because I have so many good memories with Tottenham-Liverpool. One, me and Sebastian, our friend, went to Boston for the Fan Fest, watched Mo Salah score like a weird own goal. I don't even know how to explain it. That one a couple years ago. First Liverpool game, real life, like real season I've actually attended, and the Champions League final. This is like my favorite fixture of all time, and Tottenham haven't won it since 2017.
Then they're not going to win it this weekend if the game goes on.
No, they're not. It's not going to be close.
There's not a chance. I think Liverpool carry what they were able to harness today. I think having a short week, we only have 2 days off in between the matches. I'm just hankering for Sunday. I am just jazzed up to see this match. I hope we go out and lay the pipe. I really do.
Yeah, I think we're gonna too. This one, so since 2017, Liverpool, since that game, Tottenham won. Liverpool's draw one, and they've won 7 in a row since that draw. They've just absolutely dismantled Tottenham in these games too, where a lot of them were like close, but Liverpool just dominated every single one. It's hard to explain how good Liverpool have been. I know we just kind of talked about Liverpool for a long time. The only games this season they lost on expected goal difference were Porto, Atletico Madrid, and Man City. I don't think Tottenham get near that. And the one thing I think plays a major impact in this game, where like Liverpool are playing once every 3-4 days, and that does have an impact on fitness and whatever. Tottenham haven't played in so long competitively that Liverpool are going to beat the brakes off them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're having, the fans are going to be walking back to North London after 20 minutes. It's going to be bad.
I hope as soon as the 10th minute hits, it's 2-0. I hope it's 2-0 within 10. I think we have every ability to go out and do it. I don't necessarily think Tottenham is going to be a side that gives us the amount of issues we've had in the last couple of weeks in the Prem. Villa was a tough matchup. I was very critical. I was laying in my deathbed texting Josh. Josh and I were having it out verbally because I was so critical of Liverpool in that game. And it was sloppy. I think, yeah. And I think they realize that. And I think what we've seen in the last 2 matches proves that. Coming out against Newcastle today was a different Liverpool side, 100%. And I think you can admit that. You can give me a little bit of credit, Josh. It's okay. I can.
It was the past 2 games were weird though too.
They were. It was like, it's not that we didn't dominate in terms of possession or like against Villa, we were able to go out and do what we needed to do, but it was sloppy. There was something missing in that side. And even with something big missing today, like our backbone, no spine with Virgil and Fabinho in the lineup today. And we did okay. We were able to play our brand and do it near perfectly.
Yep.
And I think we carry that on against the Spurs.
Yeah, away from home too. Liverpool 6-1-1 in the Premier League away from home. They've been impeccable away from home this year. And the thing that I also wanted to bring up about this game, if I can think about it, because now I just completely lost my train of thought. You can go on with what you were saying, Mitch.
Oh, I was just gonna say today, Farwell is my friend. Sunday, he is not. I know I texted you the classic video of our run-in at foreplay. I want to post that after every Newcastle loss. It's just such a classic. That's the only time Farwell and I have agreed on football right there.
I get video credits on that. That was a fun night in the Old Port going against some Newcastle fans.
If you're gonna wear a Newcastle kit out to a bar in Portland, Maine, you're gonna get razzed.
Yeah.
You're going to get razzed. And we won that verbal argument. We fucking chased him out of the sports bar.
I don't even think he was wearing the Newcastle brown ale jersey. I wouldn't have said anything to him if he was wearing that one. Or Farwell shouldn't have if he was.
No, what was that kit?
Was it the new one with the something bet?
No.
The Newcastle brown ale one is a clean kit.
Yes, it is. It was no, I think it was the Betway kit. Was it? Is it Betway?
Something like that. It has the Chinese Mandarin letters.
Yeah, yep. It was that one. But no, like just don't come at us when you have a group of friends that all have different teams that we support other than Josh and myself.
Yeah.
Like and nobody supports Newcastle, you're gonna get roasted from every angle. Like everybody's gonna have something to say.
Yeah.
Newcastle got fucking roasted.
The best bet for this one, Liverpool -1. I think they win this one by a couple, so that's what the thought behind this one is. Oh wow, I don't know what the odds were on that. Let me find that. Liverpool -1 and
Find the odds. Yeah. I'm saying 5-1.
Liverpool -1. We got odds of +105.
Son's gonna net 1, and we're gonna net 5. I'm just 5-1. We're right now. Liverpool's like. I don't know how Ali has 9 clean sheets.
I thought about what I was going to say.
Yes. Remember it. Yes. I don't know how Ali has 9 clean sheets. It doesn't feel like it because it seems like we're just letting in a sloppy one every week. Definitely a frustrating goal to let in today, but credit to Shelvey. A fantastic placement on that. I mean, classic John Joe Shelvey hit.
Yeah, deep.
I forget who was calling the game, but he's like, Shelvey can hit it from here, and then 2 seconds later, dumps it. Ali's standing flat-footed. But I think it's going to be a 5-1 fixture. Easy.
So I remember what I was going to say. I dropped Mane for this game. Bobby Firmino loves a goal against Tottenham. I think he scored because he scored the winner last year, the one where he ran down the pitch and celebrated, and he scored the one against they played the young guy, Tanganga, a couple years ago. Yeah. It was like his first game, and Bobby fucking spun him like a Beyblade and scored and won that one too. So I love a Bobby Firmino goal. I actually would drop Mane, put Jota out on the left, Bobby up top in the false 9. I think Bobby can just pull those defenders out of pocket too, and put Salah on the right and just doing bits. Next game, we'll stay in the Prem for this one. Leeds and Arsenal. Leeds coming off a 7-0 drubbing to City.
Yeah, City does not need a striker, so Vlahovic is staying right where he is.
Leeds are just all over the place, man.
Leeds are shit, and De Bruyne netted 2. Does that mean he is starting to find his form again? Yeah. Grealish, another goal. It just, I don't see Leeds doing anything against Arsenal.
No, I don't either. Leeds, I mean, they gave Chelsea a fight, but they're just the most volatile team, and I think it's almost time to start thinking about Bielsa just like going elsewhere because I don't think he's doing a good job anymore.
Bielsa's at the wheel.
Even though Arsenal are a shambles, honestly, because like Alba, obviously losing the captaincy. Which is just an insane situation. I mean, Justin could be on for fan therapy every single week about something.
Yeah, we might need to have a fucking statement. We need an official ABBA statement from our resident Arsenal fans. Yeah, honestly, like we're gonna get the top 6 roundtable. Yep. It's just like Aubameyang is better than this. And it's frustrating to see a player treat a club like Arsenal like this. Obviously, this isn't a new thing for Arsenal to deal with. And very clearly, they handle themselves whenever their captain decides to turn on them. They handle themselves well. They seem to play a little bit better. They find that little pep in their step. Odegaard has been sublime.
Yep.
I think he deserves a shout. Who ended up wearing the armband this past weekend?
I didn't even.
Lacazette. I think it was Lacazette.
Was it?
So yeah, I think so.
It's kind of a weird one, honestly, too. He's like an Aubameyang 2.0.
Right, but wasn't he there before him?
They would have been there right around the same time, I think.
Right, like one came right after the other, but regardless, Arsenal, they have no business having fucking warm-up sweatshirts that fire and having this much bullshit happening in the club. Like, those things are fire. Those things are fire. Like, if we had those retro Adidas crew necks, honestly reminds me of my goalie kit.
To be fair, though, those yellow ones, we have those walkout ones for the Champions League are fucking insane.
Oh, the white, red,
I don't think anything matched. That might be the best piece of soccer apparel released this year.
Was the 86 throwback windbreaker?
Yeah.
I love football streetwear.
It's nice. The walkout stuff is always just amazing. But yeah, you mentioned Odegaard. Just a couple stats on him: 4.24 shot creating actions per 90 minutes, 85% passing completion. Both of those are top 90 percentile in Europe for midfielders. He has been really good. Gotten a few goals. I know he's been a kind of a liability on defense a little bit. He gave a penalty a couple weeks ago, but I think he'll be probably an X factor in this match. And Gabs Martinelli got a goal as well here in the midweek. So I actually have the Arsenal money line. I think it's pretty good value, -115 just for Arsenal to win. That's not bad against a team that just got beat 7-0.
No, it's not. And I mean, Emile Smith-Rowe's been playing out of his mind as well. That was a fucking beautiful goal. So I'm riding with Arsenal. I love what they're doing right now. I think aside from the ABBA drama, once they kind of figure out who their leader is, it's just going to give them that extra edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That's the only 2 EPL games we really have because so many got taken
they might be the only 2 EPL games for all we fucking know.
By the time Sunday rolls around, we really don't know. This podcast could be obsolete, but when we wake up in the morning.
Usually is.
So we'll move on to countries that aren't being affected by COVID. Sevilla and Atletico Madrid. This one's like an all-defense match. It's a weird one, too, because they actually have a really even record against each other. 8 games since 2018. They're both 2-4-2 against each other. So half the time since 2018, these games have actually ended in draw. Head-to-head, less than 2.5 goals in 5 out of the last 6 against each other. And Sevilla has that same mark in 5 out of their last 6 games overall. Sevilla are 6-1 at home 6-1-0 at home this season. So very strong side. When they're playing at their home ground. And even though Atletico Madrid looked like they were going to kind of challenge at the beginning of the year, that title challenge is wearing very thin as Real Madrid continues to win games. I'm leaning towards Sevilla in this one. I just think their defense is too good. I do like the call on under 2.5 goals, but that one is -190, so there's hardly any value in betting that. I think Sevilla could win this game. More likely chances that they draw, which is why we're doing a draw no bet. So if they do draw, you get your money back, but you still can bet on Sevilla winning at -120, which isn't too bad. We're kind of sticking with a lot of minus odds this week. Atletico's just kind of on a poor run of form. They've lost 3 out of 5 to some unimpressive sides. Obviously, that one against AC Milan. AC Milan's really not that impressive. Mallorca, who is towards the bottom of La Liga, and then Real Madrid, which is obviously a tough one for them. You have any thoughts on this one, Mitch?
No, I think you nailed this one on the head. I think it's not going to be a goal-scoring affair. It's going to be a slow, physical game.
Yeah.
So I'll ride with that bet.
Yeah, and even though Atleti has some attackers, one player to shout out for Sevilla is Jules Koundé. I know he was kind of linked with Chelsea at the beginning of the year. He's been really, really good. One of their best players, 6.94 average match rating on Who Scored, which is, I believe, their second best player over the course of the year in La Liga matches. Very good in the air, very good going forward, too. 0.98 shot creating actions per 90, so he almost creates a chance every single match. 0.87 dribbles per 90, 1.52 touches in the opposition box, all per 90 minutes. So really likes to get forward and kind of create some havoc. And I think Madrid are kind of leaking goals a little bit more than they're used to right now. So I think this one's probably going to fall in the hands of Sevilla. And if it's a draw, you get your money back. I don't see Atletico winning away from home, though.
Agreed.
And then the last bet, this one, honestly didn't have, just because of the COVID stuff, didn't have all the time in the world to handicap this one and research it as much as we could. AC Milan and Napoli. We've rode with Napoli this season, I feel like, and that's probably a little bit of bias on my point. Napoli are probably my favorite team in Italy. The injury to Victor Osimhen's been bad for them. Dries Mertens has kind of played that role. They put in some different players that... who was the one that I said was going to have a bad game? And he actually has been brilliant. Scored 2 goals, I believe, against Leicester. I'm trying to find his name here. Elmas. He scored 2 goals against Leicester. They actually played very well in that game. So there's been some times that whenever I expect Napoli to do bad, they do good. Whenever I expect them to do good, they do bad. They're just kind of a mixed bag lately. They're 2-2-2 in their last 6 in all comps, so all over the place. Milan have a little bit more stability. I feel like some wins against better teams, and they didn't play bad against Liverpool. Kind of that first half.
No, they didn't. So I think Milan are probably the best one to pick in this one, just because Napoli really are suffering from injuries. Insigne was injured for a little bit. They had a long list of people that were going to be down. So I have the ACM money line. Actually, not money line. Draw no bet -145. So another minus odds pick. So 3 out of 4 minus odds picks today. I know we're kind of riding with chalk here, but we're going to play it safe after a 2 for 5 week last time out. So probably smart, Josh.
What do you think about the slate of picks this week, Mitch? How do you think?
I think we're going to do all right. I hope for your sake that the needle keeps moving to the right, and we'll keep on riding the dollar bills. Obviously, a 2 and 5 week isn't going to get you your money back, but hey, 7 for 11 will. So let's keep on grinding.
Yes, sir. Any closing thoughts for the listeners?
I do. I have a top lad and a hairdryer because we haven't done this in a while.
Top lad and hairdryer. Let's go.
My top lad is the man in which I'm representing this kit with, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yes, sir.
The chance creation, the goals that he's been able to net over the last couple of weeks. I know even just this week in particular, he's been our best player on the pitch, and it's showing. Unbelievable. Love my man TAA.
But is it kind of funny that a couple weeks ago, it was probably like 5 weeks ago now, when I had the hot take at the end of the episode, I said Trent's the best right back in the Premier League, and it sounded a little bit ridiculous at the time because of how good Cancelo was playing, and then Trent went on to win Player of the Month in the Premier League and has just been on a belter of form.
Is it the haircut?
His hair is looking bomb. I love the hairstyle right now from Trent.
It's just like I don't give a fuck, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Can you guess who my hairdryer of the week is, Josh?
What is it? A player or a coach?
It's a player. We didn't talk about this because it happened over the weekend.
Rudiger.
No.
Because we all know he is a choice.
That's a good
words.
shout, though.
Choice words.
That is a good shout.
Rudiger would have been my first pick because he was kind of shithousing in that Leeds match. I'm trying to think of players.
I'll tell you who it is.
I was going to say Stevie.
Raul Jimenez. What the fuck was he thinking getting 2 yellows in 30 seconds?
That's a legitimate hairdryer. He actually probably got a hairdryer from the coach.
That was the dumbest fucking thing I've seen out of a veteran footballer. Arguably the best player on that Wolves side, and for him to get a soft-ass yellow, yes. The first yellow was soft. But to react the way he did and pick up the second yellow and get sent off, and then to lose 1-0 to City on a fucking penalty from Raheem Sterling is unacceptable. Yeah. It's unacceptable.
The result being 1-0 made it worse.
It frustrated the ever-living fuck out of me, because if Raul Jimenez is on the pitch for Wolves, him and Adama Traore, obviously Adama Traore is not going to be the one to score the fucking goal, 7 top-flight goals in his career. But he is a leader in that locker room. Yeah. He is a leader on that pitch. And to get sent off like that was just weak. Throwing his headband like a child 3 times, getting the oles from the City crowd, just embarrassing.
Yeah,
fucking
that was a tough
do
one
better
to watch,
headband.
Honestly.
It seemed like everybody for Wolves wanted a headband that game, though. There was fucking blood everywhere. That was just a joke of a match.
You know, this isn't even a hairdryer. Funny football story of the week that we haven't talked about, even off air. Harvey Elliott has a foot fetish, supposedly. Rumors on the street. Alicia's been going viral on the TikTok. I've been seeing that on my Twitter.
I've watched it no less than 100 times.
He was actually, it seems like Harvey was getting praise.
You can laugh. It's funny.
I think he was getting praise from football Twitter for having a foot fetish.
I mean, when you play football, only makes sense.
It's a tough look right after this happened to Paul Scholes.
Yeah. Top toe lad of the year. Is it going to be Paul Scholes or is it going to be Harvey Elliott?
I know. And honestly, I think my top lad, if I had to pick one, this isn't an official. We're only doing one top lad, one hairdryer this week. If I had to pick a top lad, is Roy Keane for that Instagram post he made. Cropping out his first wife, saying, "Happy birthday to my first wife, X." The X thing made it over the top. He is just a Instagram pro. And honestly, like if you watch Ted Lasso, they modeled Roy Kent so much after Roy Keane. It's so funny.
It just makes me feel vilified in my choice to pick up his icon card in my foot team. It looks so good at my CDM. I gotta be honest. Oh my God. What a week.
What an episode.
What an epi.
Hour
You made
12.
it this far. We say it every week. We'll say it again. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend some time with us, listen to us talk footy. If you have anything to say, interact with us on social at The Main Stand. If you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the Main Stand content uploading every Friday.
Yes,
Josh,
sir.
You got anything else?
Nothing else.
We should have Pat back next week. He's been a very busy little boy with the holidays. We'll get a holiday episode up next week, just before Christmas.
I was gonna say,
Christmas is next
holiday
week.
epi.
A little holiday epi. I might have to put on my Santa hat.
Well, we might have to release it before Friday. Friday is Christmas Eve, so maybe we'll do a Thursday epi.
Ooh.
Minisode.
Ooh.
We'll think about it.
We'll think about it.
We have to do an episode because we have to do COVID in mind. We have to do a Boxing Day app.
Oh yeah, Boxing Day.
Biggest day of the Premier League season besides the last game day.
Who do we got? Like fucking Leeds?
It's a weird one, I think, isn't it? Leicester, maybe? No, it's not Leicester.
It's definitely not going to be Leicester.
Oh no, yeah, good point.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. This was what, episode 18? Jesus, we're rolling right through them.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Thanks for sticking with The Main Stand, guys. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.